What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. We are here live at FedEx Field for preseason game number 3, week number 3, here at this one at FedEx Field, the second home game. We are absolutely excited about today's matchup. Of course, Darrell Owens here with Robb Johnson as the Denver Broncos head into FedEx Field. Robb, we got a doozy of a game today.
As we have a kicker right here who's going to be kicking, who actually had the game-winning field goals last week. Dustin Hopkins, as we see, had the 4 game-winning field goals last week. And you see the Redskins' best kicker and the best opportunity to win field goals live and clear in person, right, Darrell?
Exactly. Yep. Now, speaking of Hopkins hit 5 field goals last week, like you said, hit the game winner. All of the Redskins' offense last week. If you're the Redskins, you kind of, it's preseason, but you kind of want to see more from your offense. What do you expect from Alex Smith and the boys tonight?
I expect them to come out. I expect them to move the ball down the field, but they're going to have to go against a tough defense in the Denver Broncos. You got Von Miller. You have Bradley Chubb, who, honestly, Darrell, I told him this in the car. This guy is a possible Hall of Famer one day. The New York Giants, the teams that passed on him, made a huge mistake. This man is big time. Last week against Chicago Bears, a safety on Mr. Trubisky down in the end zone. He is big time. You're going to get some back of your starters, more of your stars this week. So it's going to be a challenge for the Redskins. Alex Smith went 1-0 against his Broncos team in the season last year when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. 14 of 31, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. They won the game. They didn't play in the last game because they wrapped the division up. But I expect Alex to come out and be sharp, but it all depends on how they can block this potent Denver Broncos defensive end.
Exactly. The Denver Broncos defense just got better. They did lose a few key pieces. They let Keith to leave last year, but they feel that Chris Harris will be able to handle things back there. They feel really confident in his abilities. And then on top of that, if you are this Broncos team, you say to yourself, what do we have to do more on the defense? You feel pretty good about the defense.
You feel confident on defense, but offensive-wise, you must be more consistent. Case Keenum brought in the offseason, had a great year with Minnesota Vikings, but Case Keenum struggled before that. Few other teams he didn't do so well. I myself, being a personal Case Keenum fan, we actually saw Case Keenum last year, right here in this stadium. At FedEx Field. But last year he had a good game in Minnesota. I think he threw a pick, but he did well for Minnesota.
It was a late pick.
It was a late pick. But what he must do is he must take advantage of the Demarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. They have to find tight end help, get better production out of the running backs. It's going to be on him because there's actually a guy behind him who's playing very well. If you could elaborate on that, Darrell.
Yeah, you got a young man in Royce Freeman who early round draft pick for this Denver team, and a lot of people, including our own Jay Quimby here on Legacy Mega Sports Network, have a high expectations for Royce Freeman. We've always known that the Broncos are usually good at turning on running backs. Every franchise has that one position they turn on. They're usually pretty solid at finding gems in the running back position.
But as I was saying, with Case Keenum, and I agree about Freeman, but when I'm talking about Keenum, I'm also talking about the guy behind him who you were very high on, and you can tell the people who that gentleman was.
That guy that you're speaking of is Mr. Chad Kelly, the nephew of Hall of Famer Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills. Chad Kelly, Mr. Irrelevant last year, gets to take on Mr. Irrelevant this year. Mr. Trey Quinn, that's going to be a nice little tidbit for you. But Chad Kelly is going to be, in my opinion, something special. We saw the little sports science thing on him and how accurate he was, but he's really shown off this preseason. 3 touchdowns to only 1 interception, and he's done well enough that he jumped past Paxton Lynch as the number 2 guy on this Broncos team.
And speaking of Mr. Irrelevant, like you said, the last 2 Mr. Irrelevants could actually end up being big-time players for their teams. Now, I know it's only preseason, but do you think there's a chance going into the season if Case Keenum struggles and if Kelly continues to play well, he could take over this position?
I mean, there's a chance. Because even they have Keenum on a 2-year deal. Okay. So they're still looking for that future guy. They thought Paxton Lynch was that guy. Couldn't quite find him in Paxton. At least it doesn't look like that. But they're still looking for that next franchise guy in Denver. Question is, do they have him in Keenum, or do they have their guy in the waiting in Chad Kelly?
Well, that brings up another question. You look at the coaching situation in Denver. You look at John Elway. Could John Elway and the coach be in trouble? Could Van Joseph? Can Vance Joseph, are they in trouble if they don't have a good year this year because he struggled last year? Elway, besides the man years, has had trouble bringing in a quality quarterback.
Well, that's the thing. People like John Elway, you see Magic Johnson and John Elway. It's hard to fire that guy. I don't see John Elway being in more trouble. Plus, he got a Super Bowl in the mix. I think it'll be a while before we start screaming for John Elway's head. He's got to have a lot more losing seasons under his belt in order for that to happen. But Coach Joseph, that's a whole nother thing. Coach Joseph knows last year he almost got let go last year, and he doesn't want that to happen this year. But also Coach Jay Gruden of the Washington Redskins. This is his 5th year with this team. He does have 2 playoff appearances in that span, but nothing more to show. No playoff wins, and it seems like they haven't quite been able to get everything going.
And if you look at the picks that the Redskins gave up for RG3, we have to go back to this. And a lot of Redskins fans don't want to go to this, but we have to, because the Redskins gave up so many picks for RG3. And what's happened that time period since Jay Gruden's come here? Not only did you get rid of RG3, but you've gotten rid of Kirk Cousins. The pressure is on Jay Gruden this season. He has no other choice, ladies and gentlemen, but to produce for the Washington Redskins. What is your opinion on that, Darrell?
Well, Coach Gruden seems to be liked around here, but that doesn't mean nothing in the NFL. I think they have to have another winning season this year and continue to show progress. They don't show progress, then we could have a little bit of something on our hands if you're in DC.
My boss may like me, but if I'm not performing my job, guess what happens? I'm leaving my job.
Exactly.
So that's how it was for that in that coaching situation. Now, as we go to the next segment, what else we have for our
Redskins and Broncos fans? And this has been the biggest news all week if you're a Washington Redskins fan. That man, Mr. Adrian Peterson, has signed with this team, and the reason why he signed with the Washington Redskins and the Redskins brought him in is the trouble that this team had at the running back position. You lose a Darius Geis. Perrine is banged up. Kelly had got nicked up a little bit. So you're just losing running backs left and right. Chris Thompson still dealing, recovering back from that broken leg last year, and they're trying to make sure they bring him in slowly. So you don't want to do anything to mess up your running game. So you bring in maybe if not, in my opinion, a Hall of Famer and Adrian Peterson and see what they still got left in the tank.
Well, the way I look at it is this. You go back 2 weeks in time, and the Washington Redskins are absolutely in a great place. The running backs are doing well. Training camp is going absolutely great. And then, bam, the curse hits again. Exactly. The Washington Redskins injuries. When I was here last year, Thanksgiving night against the New York Giants, they had, I think, 20-plus injuries. This team is riddled with injuries all the time. And for them to really succeed, Darrell, they're going to have to make sure that nobody gets banged up tonight. If more running backs get hurt tonight, this team could be in some serious trouble, because how many more guys can you continue to bring in?
I mean, they have confidence in guys like Marshall. They got Brooks, and they got those guys, but I still think, they brought in AP because you want somebody who's got that track record of greatness.
You got to have name value, because let's be honest, this is a business. You got to put butts in the seats as well. So, I mean, no offense to Marshall, but I don't think a lot of fans are going to be coming out regular season to watch Marshall.
Now, unless Marshall is balling out, that's a whole
unless he's balling, but let's be honest. Fans are going to come out and see the great Adrian Peterson, one of the great running backs that's ever played this game. So people are going to want to see it. You got to put butts in the seats. So that's one important factor that the Redskins have definitely brought in. Now, Darrell, what I want to talk about the Redskins defense. I want you to talk about for the Washington Redskins fans up there, their secondary. Let fans know about what do you think about the Redskins cornerback situation and about their potentially great defensive line.
Now, we talked last week a little bit when Russ was here. We talked about how good the cornerback position, or at least Jay Gruden felt about his cornerback position, because they let go of Orlando Scandrick, 11-year veteran, former Dallas Cowboy. They let him go. Who signed in Kansas City last week, and so they let him go because they felt really confident in Quentin Dunbar. Dunbar played really well for the Redskins last year when Norman and Hall were out, and I think that Quentin Dunbar can do the work here. Fabian Monroe's going to move into the slot, and they're going to try to work him and see if he can be that guy as a slot corner, nickel corner, see what he can do there. So I like what they got on the cornerback front if they can stay healthy. And the defensive line, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne are going to be feasting on quarterbacks this year as long as those two stay healthy. They've got a lot of potential going on the defensive line.
Feed me more. A Russell reference to linebackers.
Feed me more.
Feed me more. Now, Darrell, preseason, but we also love to give people predictions. We love to give people what they think the score is going to be. Let me know your score and who will be your star of the game. Give me your star of the game and tell me what do you think is going to happen?
Well, it's the third game, and of course everybody knows that the third game is legendary for the starters playing a little bit longer. It's the dress rehearsal. A guy that I'm really looking forward to seeing tonight for the Washington Redskins will be Mr. Sims. And Sims was fantastic last week for Washington. He made a great catch in the end zone. They called it back, but he made a great play towards the end on the sideline here that put him in field goal range, and Hopkins made the field goal to win the game. So Sims will be a guy that I'm telling you guys, look out for Cam Sims. He could be special tonight. Another person to watch out for on the defensive side, once again, will be Quinn Dunbar, to see if he can continue to keep things rocking and rolling for the Washington Redskins defensive backs.
What is your score, sir?
Score tonight, last week I got close. Last week I said it was going to be 17-16, and it was 15-13. This week I said it's a little bit more high scoring, and it's always a weird score. So I'm going to go 22-17, and I'm going to go with the Redskins.
And your MVP?
Ooh, MVP? If I had to go MVP, why not Cam Sims? I think he'll continue to shine, and he's looking for a spot on his team, and why not Cam Sims?
In this game tonight, what I'm looking forward to is last week watching and breaking down film, as we do here at the Lakes Media Sports Network. We just don't show up at the games, Darrell. We actually break down film. And breaking down the film and actually looking at things. Last week, the Chicago Bears really broke down the defense of the Denver Broncos with their tight ends. And I'll tell you this, if the Redskins can come out early, if Alex Smith can connect with Vernon Davis, with Reed, and get some pass down the field, the Redskins can really get a scoring drive going on the first or second drive, because the tight end, when you utilize the tight ends around the middle of that field, it opens up everything else for your football team. So tonight, I'm looking for the tight ends for the Washington Redskins, first team to do some major damage. My star of the game, if you're asking me, it's got to be Case Keenum. He has to come out here and play like this is week one. Play like this is the NFC Championship game. We don't play like that because we all know what happened. We all know what happened the last time that you showed up in the NFC Championship game. So you have to come out here. You have to make sure that you're focused, because of the fact that you know that Kelly is right on your tail. And I'll give you my score. And to me, the more desperate team is Denver Broncos. I'll give it to the Denver Broncos in this game. 22-19 on the last second field goal, because like I said, I think the Redskins are the better team right now, but I think the Broncos have the potential to do something in this league this year if they can just get production from Case Keenum and the rest of the offense. But for Rob Johnson, we have
Darrell Owens, baby.
And for the Lakes Media Sports Network, make sure you follow us on
Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram,
YouTube,
Instagram,
YouTube,
Facebook,
all those wonderful
things. And we say that because we love you guys. Thanks for the support. Legacy Maker Sports Network, live from
FedEx Field.
All right, watch out for Darrell. Watch out for my articles. Watch out for photos. Watch out for more live videos later on. Legacy Maker Sports Network. See you guys later.
Peace. And watch out for Cortland Sutherland tonight. Could be interesting.
No. No.